Hello, my name is Laura Burkhardt, and welcome to Yoga Business Secrets. I'm here with the founders of Okino, and they make absolutely amazing leggings, and they're also starting to make other wonderful products. And these lovely ladies are here to tell us just how to take a concept, if you're thinking about creating a product, and take it from a concept to making it into a reality. So ladies, would you introduce yourselves and just tell us a little bit about your background, how you two met, and yeah, and then we'll go from there.
Good. I'll start. My name is Angeline, and I have a background actually on the corporate side, mostly in finance in New York. I was working on Wall Street, loved it. And then I moved over to the environmental market side, so environmental finance, carbon trading, and environmental policy. And then I kind of, evaluated what was important to me. And one of those things being health, sustainability, more freedom and flexibility. So then I moved into a consulting role where I was consulting for a variety of nonprofits, foundations, government agencies, and then sustainable businesses. And then I wanted to take things a step further, and I went out on my own, set up my own consulting practice, became an executive coach. And then about 2014, Robyn and I kind of came together with the idea for Okino.
Very nice.
Hi, I'm Robyn, and my background is in corporate sales and marketing, and I started with some large global brands, Coca-Cola, PepsiCo, went on to work for Lululemon, and learned a lot working for those organizations, but knew I wanted to branch out and do things on my own. So explored, it took a year off. Also, that was pretty integral to just finding out what my passions were and what my path was going to be post like corporate life, and landed on working with yoga and wellness professionals as a consultant as well. So started doing that, and then connected with Angeline in 2014, and found this different direction, turned to the path to create Okino. So we can tell you a little bit more about that.
Yeah. So where did you come up with that idea of creating Okino? And okay, first of all, like, where did this name Okino come from? And then where did the idea of coming up with Okino and creating like yoga and surf apparel, and so where'd that come from?
So maybe we'll start with the story of where the idea was conceived. So actually we referred to 2014. We were on the surf and yoga trip together, and we arrived to these beautiful epic conditions, surf till sunset, and then realized the next morning we had some severe sunburns. So over a yoga class in the morning, we decided to keep our yoga leggings on and wear them in the water for surfing. And we ended up not only feeling protected, but loved the idea from the functionality of not having to adjust bikini bottoms and not getting a rash from the board or the wax. And then being able to dive under the waves with ease. So we really loved that concept, but the fabric and the fit of the leggings weren't ideal. The fabric was absorbing water, and the fit was, a little off here and there. So yeah, and the one game changer part of it, I guess, was not only us wearing and liking leggings, but by the end of our trip, noticing other women wearing leggings in the water. Mm-hmm. And when we asked them, what their motivation was, they said they were getting severely sunburned as well and were inspired by our idea. So that's when we were like, well, we maybe have something here for an innovative product that can enhance our lives and the lives of others. So thus Okino was born, or the path to Okino started. And then I'll let Angeline kind of take it from here.
Yeah, and I guess I do want to address an earlier question you asked, about how did Robyn and I meet and come together. We both live in the same community out at Ocean Beach in San Francisco. So it's the Outer Sunset. It's an awesome area where it's a lot of surfers, but it's also just like-minded people, a lot of creatives, entrepreneurial people that are drawn to the ruggedness and the wildness of the nature out here, but still plugged into, you know, the entrepreneurial scene in San Francisco. And I think, you know, we kind of gravitated towards each other because of our similar backgrounds, and we thought, okay, let's look at, you know, is this a right partnership? But then also, you know, is this a viable product and an interesting enough market where we're solving a problem and really creating a solution? And is there, you know, a need or kind of like a market demand around this? So that's what brought us together. And, you know, we were both working our own consulting practices and other various things and doing this on the side. But I think the chemistry, in terms of us sharing a corporate background, having similar kind of like drive, motivation, work ethic, but having, you know, different enough and complementary enough skill sets and strengths, brought us together to really, you know, help move this forward, from, you know, just idea to concept, and then all the way through to, you know, an actually functioning brand. And, you know, I think once we did develop a prototype and we did commit to launching a company, we did have to think long and hard about the name, Okino, and really it came down to, you know, what were our brand values. And we brainstormed a bunch of different ideas, and we came up with Okino, which is actually a Japanese word that means the land fronting the open sea. And we felt like that just nailed it, you know, in terms of that's what our product is about. It's a multifunctional apparel that'll go from sea to street to studio. So you can wear it in the water, dries really quickly, has sun protection, is beautifully designed, and, you know, super flattering fit. So you can wear it just walking down the street. You can wear it in high performance activities in a studio like Pilates, yoga, or else, you know, just outdoors, running, hiking, biking. And just, you know, throwing it out there, our logo, we don't have anything right now, right?
I can grab
our logo was designed, it's actually like an open wave, and it was hand painted by my aunt. She did it on Chinese watercolor, and it does kind of encapsulate what our brand is about, which is we're very much driven by community. So starting out earlier, you know, everything was reaching out to our friends, you know, everything from the designer, the artist. These are all people in our community who, you know, pitched in, and this is really like a crowd-funded brand that's been built by our friends and family. And this is just a quick shot of our logo and our brand.
Wait, who created the logo? Your aunt? Is that
My
right?
aunt. Yeah.
Yeah, that's very nice. I love it. You're keeping it in the family. I love
Exactly.
that.
Yeah.
You're keeping the family. You're keeping the community.
Right.
So when you came up with the idea of creating this, you reached out to people around you, and that's how you found your designer? You were just talking with people within your own community actually to make the product. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. And I think what's been one of the coolest things about working on this project is the opportunity to bring together so many people in our community to help us and, you know, see as resources. And I think I would give it the advice that that's really the best place to look first. Like, who do you know who's around you? And when you start a new project or a new endeavor, it's really amazing to be able to outreach to your network and basically elevate the others around you by, you know, employing them or involving them in helping you build your business. So I think that's really one of the best places to look for resources first, is like who is in your network, who is in the community. And I mean, even using things as simple as social media profiles. So it could be LinkedIn, it could be even Facebook. People put their job profiles. So a lot of times you don't even realize who's in your network until you start looking. And then also friends of friends. So reaching out and asking if anybody, knows somebody that could be a resource in areas that you don't have a level of expertise. That kind of touches on something else we wanted to share. Was it's really great and so critical to find partners that have complementary skills to you, and you can't do everything within the business. So realizing where you're an expert and then which areas you need to outsource. So it's either through a partnership or through other strategic people that you work with. So it's really identifying those areas. And we knew between us, we had a great deal of skill sets, but one thing we didn't have is like the apparel design expertise. And obviously when you're wanting to design new apparel, that's something you need an expert to do. So we were able to reach out to Rachel Frey, who, hang on, can we pause this for a second?
Yeah, we're pause.
Okay, sorry. I just said
Yeah,
her last name wrong.
Yeah. No, and it's fine with the baby. It's fine. I was like moving cats around. And,
I know. Okay.
So you can only see like when you're talking, they can't see me when you're talking. It's just so you know, it's only when whoever's lit up.
Okay. So, but we can edit. You can edit, right?
Oh, yeah. Yes. Well, thank you, Cassandra. Cassandra's actually going to be editing this, so she'll.
Okay. Thank you, Cassandra. Sorry, I just said our friend's name wrong. So, it's great to look for other people within your community, and so when we were looking for a designer, we realized this woman that I had met through my yoga teacher training, Rachel Fry, was a great designer. She was already designing her own line of apparel. And so she seemed like just a perfect person to talk to. And so we set up a meeting to see if it was a fit on both sides. And she was very interested to work with us. So we actually brought her on as an initial partner originally to help us design and create Okino and get the pattern for the leggings off the ground.
Wow. And so did she also help you find like the different fabrics, like the different companies, or is that how she helped you find the different designers, the people? Because I know that the prints are amazing. They're like these beautiful hand paintings. I know you go through quite a bit of that to find out what is going to be the perfect design. So can you talk a little bit about that, where you find the fabric and things like that?
Sure, yeah. So in terms of the actual print, they are hand painted by artists, and they are friends of ours, actually. Our signature print, we knew that we wanted something that was mermaid-esque. Our prints right now are inspired by our love of the ocean. So everything has kind of like a sea-inspired feel to it. And we had this vision of how do we make something that is beautiful and unique and elevated and high-end, but has not just like an all-over tiled print, but just has something that is really special. And so I reached out to a friend of mine, Mandy Heron, who lives in Venice, California, and she is a painter as well as, an art historian by trade. And, we loved her style and gave her direction of what our vision was and let her run with it. And so she actually painted in acrylic, a full-size version of the artwork, which we then went back and forth with her on. And what we did was we had that sublimated onto fabric. And Rachel really came in the sense of handling the technical aspects. So she did help us in terms of looking at different fabrics and understanding the technology that would be involved to be able to print, cut and sew, and make sure that the quality wasn't compromised. So we tested, luckily she had relationships with a variety of different vendors and factories. So we just ordered a bunch of different samples, tried them on in terms of, the fit, the functionality. And then we did go into prototyping. So that was working with, as much as possible, local manufacturers, to be able to print and then be able to cut and sew. And we did go through a couple of iterations. We had very early prototypes, put them on, active women. We had them road tested and water tested. So worn surfing, worn, in doing yoga, worn about town, incorporated the feedback, and then, developed it was about actually a year of product testing and gathering the feedback, incorporating it before we felt like we had, the minimum viable product. And then it was at that point, we chose the route of going through crowdfunding. So we did an Indiegogo campaign. And we felt like that was the best way for a couple of different reasons. Number one, it was amazing for marketing. You reach out to your own network, but you also, can spread the word to a lot of anonymous and new people through social media, through sharing, and then through kind of like the whole crowdfunding community. But it was also great to kind of lower the barriers of entry. You can test a product, test the market, test the price point, all of that without a lot of commitment. And you basically can get pre-sale orders to see the interest and to see the demand before you go into actual production.
Yeah, no, that's nice. I think that's a really great way, as you said, like to actually test it by having a pre-sale and just as interest is and getting feedback and actually have people, as you said, like wear them and, just you're getting the feedback before moving forward. So no, that makes sense. So once you actually created all this, so once you actually did the crowdfunding and the pre-sales, how else did you start marketing your product to the public?
Yeah, so I think one of the major things was at the time when we did the crowdfunding, we had like a splash page set up for a website. So I think it's most important for you to be able to be found when people are looking for you and to have a professional front and setup for your business so that people can get the information that they need. So even just setting up a simple one-page splash page, which there's a lot of different resources out there on the internet now we used what did we use? WordPress. Sorry, we used WordPress as our option. But then the first thing we did really with some of the funds that we raised was to create a professional website. So enrolled another person from our community to create a website for us that was functioning and had a easy to use online shopping cart. So so once people find you, the next important point is to make sure you're communicating the information about your product clearly and then make it easy to shop. So it's just having that really clear, easy user interface. So I think that's number one, is setting up something there, and then setting up the social media outlets. So, making sure that we had profiles set up in Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Pinterest, and a couple other ones as well. I would say that the most useful ones have been really Facebook and Instagram in terms of communication, and then in terms of leading traffic to our website as well. And then additionally, marketing. Those are also marketing platforms that you can do paid advertising on both Facebook and Instagram. And we've seen some success through doing campaigns, advertising campaigns. And it's really simplistic, super user-friendly. And then you get a lot of great insights and data right away. So then you can look back and see what was successful. And it's at a minimum, you can set the minimum and the maximum for how much you want to spend and over what time period. So there's a lot of controllables, which is really nice and easy to use. Other than that, I think our biggest and best thing that we've been able to do to let the community and spread the word is enrolling the help, again, of community through our ambassadors and through our affiliate program. So it's kind of a non-traditional version of marketing, but it's a really the most authentic way we see we can bring the product to market is putting it in the hands of the women and the people that we created it for, and having them share our story through their use of the product and their, interest and its functionality for their lifestyle. So that's really been one of the most amazing ways to spread the word, plus being able to share the stories of the inspiring women who wear our products again and again through our blog, and then also through social media. And I mean, we have to acknowledge that you're one of our ambassadors, and not only one of our ambassadors, but our very first Okino ambassador. So we're very honored to have you as an ambassador, and you've been phenomenal in spreading the word authentically and getting it out to the community, and creating some of the most beautiful content we've ever seen through your photos of traveling the world. And, gracing the covers of Yoga Journal. Let's just give you a little shout out for that too.
Oh, thank you. Well, thank you. Well, I kind of felt like if I was going to partner with you, I needed to pull my weight and, make sure it shines. So it gave me more motivation to do those things. So thank you. So no, this is all like really great information. It actually brings like two questions up in my head.
Sure.
Well, since we're talking about affiliates and partnerships, how do you choose the affiliates? How do you choose your partners and the people that you want to work with?
That's such a great question. I think that it's like law of attraction, I think, is the first thing. So it's really seeing, like, first off, who authentically already is in your community, who's excited about the brand, who's already talking about the brand, and then who is also the person that we're creating for. And like thinking about, again, it goes back to community, who is within the community that we're already talking to, and who's outside of the community that you're interested, that, like, this would be great for this person and their lifestyle. I've seen their lifestyle on social media, and I'd love to get the product in their hand and see what they think. So I think it's really like been our strategy has been like kind of mapping out who we see as like the people in our community that would be great representatives of Okino. And also it's a two-way street, who's interested in already doing that. So, and then we put together the affiliate program as a way to not only, get the word out there for Okino, but a way to reward the community of, through a discount with our affiliates. Like, so it's something they can give to their community. And then it's also, we give back to the affiliates. It's a way to reward them. So it just feels like an authentic way to be able to continue to cultivate this brand through growth of community, really.
Mm-hmm. And I would just add, we are looking for clear brand alignment. So, whether they have their own personal brand, they have their, we partner with nonprofit organizations, so they have mission, making sure that we're all kind of on the same page in terms of our values. That is kind of a filter, or like a minimum criteria. And then I think also being very clear about, because at the end of the day, we do need to grow. So thinking about who can reach our target market. And at the end of the day, we also have limited resources, and one of those resources being time. So unfortunately, but also fortunately, I think when you're small, it's important to be selective and be strategic, because otherwise you could be spending a lot of your time managing and chasing lots of, bits and pieces, and managing lots of different relationships without, and it takes you away from the yield. So I think being clear about are we aligned towards the same goal? Are we reaching, the right target audience? And then, really kind of focusing on those relationships and on those types of partnerships.
No, that actually, that makes sense. And I like how you said you're lining up your partnerships with like kind of your values and is this a good connection? And thinking both of that and also thinking about by working with this person, is this going to help since you are small, but you're growing? Is this person or these people, these affiliates, are they going to actually help spread the word? Are they really out there in the world? They're not like inside all the time. They actually have a community themselves. So I think it's smart looking at both lining your values and how is this person going to actually put our product out into the world?
Yeah, exactly. And it is kind of a new model. I mean, you are seeing a lot more brands, particularly online brands, where it is digital, or they are, working towards having ownership or direct relationships with their customers versus the retail or the wholesale route. And that is definitely, the route that we're taking, which is we do the majority of our sales online. We're very kind of selective and limited in terms of our brick and mortar and retail presence. Therefore, we do shift and put more emphasis into affiliates, because essentially they are our champions, and they are kind of the eyes and ears and our, foot soldiers that are out there spreading the word about Okino and reaching the right people.
Mm-hmm. And then when people go to the website, you said there's the shopping cart. Do you know if that's difficult for someone to set up? Like, do you know if it's easier with WordPress or Squarespace or Wix, or does it really matter what type of website they have or where they create the website? Is it pretty easy to add that shopping cart?
Yeah. So I would say, luckily right now there are a lot of options out there, which is great for new young brands to just set up really easily. We chose the route of Shopify, and I think it does depend on a couple things. It depends on the product that you're selling. If you are doing something that is blog heavy and just, shopping cart on the side, you might want to do something more in the WordPress or Wix space. But if you are doing something that is commerce heavy, so you have a variety of different products and a variety of different SKUs, you might want something like Squarespace or Shopify, because that is more geared towards selling, and it is geared towards the user experience around buying. They have a fully integrated shopping cart and then payment platform, so it'll accept all the different payment methods, even integrate with Amazon payments and PayPal. So that's, streamlined, and that is actually easy. The second aspect is, I think, when you're deciding or you're evaluating the different hosting platforms and e-commerce sites, is to think about your aesthetic, because a lot of these are plug and play. So they have existing templates that are ready to go, and you just kind of choose and drop your content into that. The customization around that is where, it can become costly, or, you thinking about maintaining it on an ongoing basis is tricky. So you want something that is as ready to go in your style as early as possible. So I think getting clear about the look and feel, and then finding that platform that will work for what you're going for.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. That makes sense. So in this whole process, and this, was it 3 years? Is that right? Since 2014?
We're coming up on 3.
Yeah.
3 years. What have been like your biggest struggles, and what have been your best like successes?
That's a good question. I would say biggest, struggles or like challenges,
obstacles. Well,
you can look at a lot of different ways. There's a lot of challenge like this just by nature. Starting any product or brand or company, there's a lot of different things that are challenges. I would say the biggest challenges we've had in terms of making a product have been like through production, is just getting the production really right. And it can just be timely and lots of things that can go wrong that you never even expected. So, and that's just kind of par for the course is what we're hearing. But with that being said, I think all of the challenges that arise, the best thing you can do is just course correct, make sure you're diligent in your approach, and then just do it right. Just make sure, even if it takes more time. And our big mantra has been do it right, not rushed, because we really want to bring a truly high performance, high quality product that's going to last, that's going to enhance people's lives. So we have an emphasis on making sure everything is done correctly, even if it takes more time, even if we have to redo it, even if it has to be done. And sometimes you have to push back on, the people around you to make sure you get the standard that you expect to get a high quality product. So I would say don't settle, and do it right, not rushed. And then we can talk about our biggest wins.
Our biggest wins. I would say, a lot of running starting, launching, growing a small business is about, especially if it's in a niche market. So, even though the yoga apparel space is crowded, we felt like we differentiated ourselves because we're creating multifunctional, and it really is that amphibious aspect of being able to go in the water and drying quickly, and then, being able to wear it on land. So it's a new space, and that requires running a lot of experiments. You have to stay super resilient. And it is kind of like a lean approach where we're limited in time, we're limited in funds and resources. So we have to pick and choose our battles, and design these experiments, whether they're sales experiments, whether they're marketing experiments, production, design, innovation, quickly take the feedback, and then incorporate it and, run more experiments and put it out there again. I think what has been great is that, we have been, aside from the crowdfunding, and just, a little bit of capital that we put in the very beginning, we've been bootstrapped, so we've, existed for the last 3 years purely on our sales and on our resources and on, leveraging, our community and partnerships. And I think one of the most rewarding aspects is to see the inbound requests, so whether it's new customers we just got an order from, Oslo, Norway, and we have no idea where they found out about us. And it was a man who actually ordered the product. So, or, getting contacted by a major magazine wanting to feature us in their, print and online issues. To somebody opening a new store and wanting to, stock all of our prints and our dry bags in their retail location. So it's just exciting to, I find it really exciting. It's just like, when I see someone I don't know randomly going for a run and they're wearing Okinos, that just makes my heart kind of pitter patter. It's really cool to see our products out there doing what they're meant to do, which is enhance the lives of people. And it's fun to see people come to us and want to, they believe in the product and they want to carry or spread the word about it. And we're seeing that it's takes a long time and it is a long road. And sometimes you feel like you're putting all this energy out there and you're doing outreach and you don't know when it'll come back. But I think having the faith and trusting and believing and staying the course in terms of like, we know why we're doing this. We believe in our product. We believe in the need that we're serving our market. Then just trusting that it'll come back to you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would think that's also what inspires you. Like when you do feel setbacks, or not setbacks, you're kind of confused. I have a feeling those are things that inspire you to keep moving forward with the company as well. Are those moments? Or I love that how you said that. You know, just like I think that'd be like so exciting, like walking down the beach and like, oh, there's my design running down the beach right now. So yeah, I think those would be really great moments, and just things like that, or that are like, are you getting on the right track, or being contacted by publications? I think that's fantastic too.
Yeah, it is. And it's, it also allows us to think outside of the box. I think another kind of like, challenge that turns into a success is when you're an entrepreneur, you can get tunnel vision, because you need to just execute. There's just stuff that needs to happen. You can't drop balls, and you're wearing many hats, but you want to do a good job, and you want to follow through on things, so you can get narrowly focused. But I think when there are things coming to you, when there are inbound interest or inquiries or requests or sales, it reminds you of the bigger picture, and it can also let you see the bigger market that's out there, and it's just a good reminder of what you're doing it all for. So
no, that's great. So if someone was going to, let's say they had an idea and they wanted to create their own product, what is like the one piece of advice that you actually would recommend that you would give to them?
My piece of advice would be, first, kind of see what's out there on the market already existing, and make sure you're filling a truly unique need, because or you have a competitive advantage. So you're going to enhance something. You're going to do it better in some way. But that's going to fulfill a need and enhance somebody's life because of it.
And I would just say, kind of dovetailing on that, it's, if you want to take a product into a viable company and a viable brand, I think you have to be okay living and breathing this product, so you have to stand by it 100%. And in order to take it into a company, you have to be okay with wearing many hats, because there are a lot of unforeseen things that can happen. And, whether it's on the production side, on the design side, on the operation side, on sales, marketing, PR. I think having a clear vision of the long-term goal. So being able to say, where do I want to be in 5 years in terms of this product or this company? And then at the same time, as you have a long-term vision, being able to say, what's my 90-day plan going to look like? So what am I going to be able to achieve and, execute within 90 days that will kind of, and I think constantly dancing back and forth between the short term and the immediate, as well as, making sure that aligns with the bigger picture, and plugging that in with like, how does it fit into your life, I think is important. So not just thinking, okay, this is a product that, is needed in the market, so therefore I'm going to go for it. But if it doesn't resonate with you, it's going to be hard to live and breathe it. And it's going to be hard to wear those many hats, because it's going to then feel like a burden, or you're going to lose interest.
Right.
You have to have the passion for it, a true passion for what you're creating.
Yeah, and it probably takes time too. It's not like someone should get an idea like, I'm going to quit my job, unless they're like independently wealthy, and I'm going to create this product and this thing, so it's going to be instantly successful. I mean, I'm sure things like that have happened, but probably being realistic, it probably takes time for the product to be created and for people to actually know about your product. Yeah. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think I always was interested. I think entrepreneurship was, and, being a founder of a company and of a product, I had always been on the service side. It was like kind of like the final frontier. And so it was something that I was always interested in. But I took my time to really think about, what product would it be? And there were lots of different things that I've been interested in the past, but I think thinking about, what do I believe is truly needed in the market? And then, how does my skill set play into that? If I don't have it, how am I going to find it? Through partnerships or through outsourcing it? How are we going to fund it? And that's why Okino really it wasn't whimsical, it was really a perfect storm condition, at least for me. That it made it feel like, hey, this is worth the risk, and it has legs. It has, really, really strong potential. But no, I think, not being afraid to, sleep on it, like sleep on it, do some research around the product, and then really sit with it and see, like, hey, am I going to be passionate about this in year 2? Am I going to be passionate about this when we're running out of money? Am I going to be passionate about this when our production is delayed? Or am I going to be passionate about it when, the sales aren't where they should be? Because these are all very, very natural, and they're all part of every single startup experience.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's like, as you say, you have to have a passion, you have to have love for what it is you're doing, you're creating, and still believing in the product that you're creating and putting out there.
Yeah.
And then, and also one of my final questions: how was Okino able to get into certain publications? Like, I know recently you were in Self, which is fantastic. Yes. Which is congratulations. So, what were some of the processes for working with publications?
Yeah. So in the very beginning, I think, it's worth mentioning one of our very early marketing tools was Gorilla. It was amassing, and it really, helped because it was part of our strategy with the crowdfunding and Indiegogo campaign. But we basically, set it as a goal of building an email list of about 2,000 names. So it was, people from high school, from college, from my early career, everyone that we could reach, we put on the list. And I think the importance of doing that is you just never know who, number one, who knows who, and number two, you never know who is going to pick up on your brand, your product, your story, and want to promote it or want to spread the word about it. So very early on, I think it's a combination of like active and passive outreach. So I think identifying the people that are in your network that have some sort of media presence. So whether they're bloggers or they're editors or writers, or they're somehow in the media space, and reaching out to them and telling your story, because you have a direct relationship and it's 1 degree of separation. It tends to be a warmer lead, and they, may end up highlighting your story before you have, that brand equity and that brand presence. So they're going to want to tell about you as a founder and your journey. And that's what happened to us. I mean, it ended up being, my high school friend is a contributing editor to the San Francisco Chronicle. She reached out to me via LinkedIn. She'd been getting our newsletters because she was on the email list. And then from that, we got a major press article that led to great sales and great, kind of viewership. And then what's great about right now, the time and age that we're in, is that things that live on the internet, so digital content, will live into perpetuity. I mean, it will be on the web, searchable, helping your SEO. but also it'll get picked up. So the chances of getting, versus say print or long lead, is, the chances of a digital article being reblogged or reposted is great. It's really high. So I would say, reaching out to our own network and inviting them to events, inviting them to pop up, sending them free samples, talking about our story, talking about our product features, was a great way in the beginning. And then, things kind of just went viral from there. I think through the Indiegogo campaign, we had people that featured us, both about our fundraising, but also about our product and our stories. And then just recently, we did, reach out to a PR firm, and they specialize in kind of fashion as well as sun protection, active athleisure apparel. So it was a slightly different market and our audience, but we worked very closely with them to make sure that our target media list was the focus and the priority. Mm-hmm. So I think it's again, working, the closest degree of separation. So leveraging your own network and your community as much as possible, but then running experiments, being not afraid to reach out beyond that and seeing what comes from there as well. Yeah. But it is, everybody from, professionals and people that have been in, public relations for their whole career, all the way to newbies. Everyone says it's an art, not a science, and it's very much about cultivating a relationship and creating relevant, resonant content. So essentially, you're making it easy for somebody to pick up and, kind of like pitch your story or, write about you. It's very much a content game as it is, a product or a sales and marketing.
I think that's one of the things I like about Okino too, is you're very good about saying what you're about. It's not just this is a product, but you're good about saying that the purpose of the product and where it comes from, and even having more of like a philanthropic aspect to it. And I think that's so key and so important for people who are not just potential buyers, but just people who want to know more about you, for them to know that information.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
I think, it's also just keeping in mind who our audience is. And I think our audience is, sophisticated, educated, mission-oriented people who mm-hmm. care about, and, who will make conscious decisions about where they spend their money. So they want brands with stories. They want, social impact, or, a sustainably made, locally made products, in order to kind of distinguish yourselves from the competition and from the noise out there. It is a lot about sharing, what motivated us, sharing what drives us, what's important to us, both in terms of our product, but then also in terms of our overall, lifestyle and values. And that's what we want to, that's the community that we want to create. We're more than just, a clothing company.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like that. And so speaking of community, how can people find out about you and contact you and find out more about Okino?
Yeah. So the main way is through our website, which is okino.com. So OKIINO.com. And then we are on social media. So Facebook, it's Okino Clothing. And then Instagram is, probably our most up-to-date in terms of content and new product releases and images. And that is _Okino_. And then, through our website, you can find our email. The best way is hello@okino.com. And, we respond really quickly to everything. And we do welcome feedback. We welcome questions. We welcome, opportunities to help out other brands as well. We're very much about empowering women in all aspects, you know, not just through our product, but also through our brand. Robyn is a working mother, and balancing, being able to balance, you know, being an entrepreneur, and then, you know, the two of us having, you know, co-founder, going through kind of like the co-founder relationship. It's, we're happy to share any aspect of our journey.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you ladies joining us today, and thank you. Yes, as you see, working mom.
Our unofficial partner. Say hi, Tiana. Say hi.
Hi. Well, thank you, Laura, for the time and for, you know, all these great questions. And we appreciate everything that you're doing for the yoga community, and then also, you know, to support us as a young, growing brand. We couldn't do it without you.
Oh, well, thank you. Well, you both are definitely very inspiring to me. So it's been a pleasure, like, having you here to talk and just talk about more about your background and how you made this beautiful product and how you're just putting yourselves through this product out into the world, and even with a little sweet boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
All right. Well, thank you, ladies, so much. I appreciate it. And remember, okino.com if you're interested in finding out more about these ladies and all the wonderful things they do. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.